Today, I'm packing for two awesome workshops next week in Death Valley, the week after in Joshua Tree, stars, landscapes, driving the big Sprinter van. Space is not limited. Check out what I'm bringing with me. Well, hey everyone, it's Hudson. Welcome to this week's video. So I really couldn't be more excited to be gearing up to two of my favorite winter workshop locations, Death Valley and Joshua Tree. I'm driving my big 12-passenger Sprinter van down there, meeting Rick LePage, who's on a trailer trip camping with his wife down in the desert Southwest. David Archer's flying in from South Carolina, and we're gonna have two awesome groups of photographers with us, a few of them in both of the workshops. And so I thought I'd make this video about what I've boiled it down to that I'm gonna bring along on this trip. You know, there's always the possibility of seeing a little bit of wildlife in these locations, but they are primarily landscape locations. These are landscape-focused workshops, kind of getting to the core of my original passion for photography, which really was landscape and travel. So we'll be gearing up to do lots of sunrise and sunset shoots. And, you know, it's more, you bring a 100 to 400 millimeter lens in case there's great wildlife, but this isn't the big lens type trip. So even though space isn't limited in the Sprinter van, I'll be leaving those behind. Any of the gear that I talk about in this video, you can run over to my website. You know, we sell the NYA-EVO bags, the case filters, the custom tripods and tripod parts, and I have links to all the other gear that I use, recommend, and stand by at hudsonhenry.com/ATS links. You can just click right here to hit that links page. Or look in this video's full description, and I'll link some of the essentials that I'm bringing with me along with all the links to those different pieces of gear. So thanks so much for using those links. That really helps support what I do, all right? So I'll just dispense with the easy stuff first. You know, going on a trip where landscape is key. I'm bringing the big custom build fluid head tripod that gets, you know, up over 70 inches tall and has such rock solid stability and versatility, whether doing landscape or tracking motion with a long lens or doing panoramas, with its stone bag, with its wonderful, you know, built-in leveling adapter, systematic leveling adapter that gives me 30 degrees of leveling ability, and the awesome new Acrotech nodal rail up there, the adjustable nodal rail. And you know, this thing is light, it's big, it's sturdy, it's rock solid, and I'm putting my spikes with the removable foot caps, the little rubber protective foot caps, which are great in rocks and trees. I'll bring along a set of claws in case I get into really rocky conditions, but these are wonderful in the sand. These stainless steel spikes, you can just bed them down in the sand. When we're photographing the dunes, that's gonna be super key. So bringing my fluid head tripod setup is essential. That's definitely the tripod I'm gonna be trusting on this trip. I'm bringing along my Lecia Q3 because I love it for landscape scenarios. I love it for portraits of people. I love putting people in the landscape. This 28 millimeter lens is the best, you know, normal wide angle lens I've ever worked with, and I love the user interface on this camera. I've got my Really Right Stuff L bracket on it with the QD port for slinging it. Doesn't interfere with access to the ports or the card or the battery. And in its little mirrorless mover 10 think tank bag, I've got a spare battery, some lens cleaning cloths, and this little stack cap set of case 49 millimeter filters would just fit it perfect. I got a UV filter under its hood in place on its magnetic ring, and I can easily pull the hood and switch and swap 3, 6, 10 stop neutral density filters, a circular polarizer, or a night filter. I got those in a little stack cap set that can fit in my pocket or slip into the side pocket of this mirrorless mover bag. So that'll be just near me in the van at all times, sometimes slung on my side, sometimes just the camera slung on my side while I got my pack on in case I want to take some shots while I'm rolling along. And again, you know, I keep the UV filter on that just because that keeps that expensive lens safe when I'm knocking around shooting it. I don't even have to worry about a lens cap on it. If there's something beautiful that I want to photograph or a sunstar or something, I can pull that filter off magnetically just like it was a lens cap and have a perfectly clean, protected front element underneath. So in the main compartment of my NYA-EVO 60C bag, I'm definitely going 60C here because it just gives me more capacity to hold more gear for a trip like this, hiking out into the dunes, whatever it is. You know, it's so versatile. It is my favorite bag. There's times where I prefer the 50C for being a little slimmer, a little lighter weight. I'm not hauling as much gear, but this is my kitchen sink, super utilitarian SUV of a bag. I love it. I've got the medium RCI in here, and yes, this is the one that I installed NYA-EVO's new branded grumblers in. I'm not selling those yet, but you can find them over at B&H. They're custom cut inserts. You know, the inserts for the RCIs, the removable camera inserts that come with the NYA-EVO bags are great too, but these really nice padded custom ones are fun and give me just a little more space and protection in the bag. So you can see, I've got my Z9 strapped in here in the central slot. You know, I can pull it out like that. It's got its Kirk L bracket on it, ready to deploy. My Zemlin eye cup on there, slip it back in. It's a little snug because right now in here, I'm just showcasing everything that can fit. I've got my Plena 135 f1.8. This is a lens I broke down and bought after kind of missing it after reviewing it. It's just so gorgeous and beautiful. So I'm gonna play around with this one a little bit on this trip. It may not live in that slot in my bag. It's probably gonna be something I throw in sometimes and don't take it other times. I'm gonna have my 100 to 400 f4ZS lens, which I put a little NYA-EVO keeper under the hood there. That's one of the few lenses I ever bring a hood with me just to protect the front element when I'm bouncing around with a long lens like that. The minute I put a filter on it, I don't feel like I need the hood on it anymore. Again, strapped in, I've got my 100, or my 14 to 24 favorite ultra wide angle lens ever, the S lens. And alongside that, I have Case's new version of the filter, or of the filter hood for that lens with the Nikon cap that came with the HB97 hood. So this nice metal case filter with the spinning ring that's just magnetic by nature in its back cap. I could leave a filter in there, even keep this in my pocket with a filter ready to go. I keep that sort of on top of the medium RCI below the divider that keeps things up in the top portion separate. And then next to that, I have my 112 millimeter filters. I have a UV filter, circular polarizer, 3, 6, 10 stop neutral density filters, and a night filter for the Milky Way work. That UV filter could be critical if using, say, the 14 to 24 or another lens out in the dunes in a sandstorm like we've had in past Death Valley workshops and gotten spectacular imagery. I have in this pocket some spare lens caps in case I were to lose a lens cap, including one for the 14 to 24, and my Velo remote radio frequency transmitter just to be able to do, you know, wireless camera triggering with the Z9 whenever I want. It plugs into that 10-pin port with a little antenna, and I can trigger the camera even while I'm off working with someone else if something beautiful is happening in the sky. In this pocket, I keep my 77 to 112 millimeter filter adapter with a magnetic case cap, just in case I want to use those 112 millimeter filters with the 100 to 400, or my 24 to 120, which sits right here, or the 20 millimeter 1.8, which sits right here, which is my favorite Milky Way lens. I love the way the corners look at f1.8 and what quick exposures at low ISO that gives me on my star tracker. All right, so that's my main sort of back access camera compartment on the 60C bag. You know, I can close that guy up, easy access to it whenever I want. Flip those shoulder straps back around. I've already got my side compression straps undone, and I'll show you what's in the kind of cammed out main compartment here. I've got a warm hat and Touch Tech OR gloves in case it gets chilly at night and I still want to be able to work with the touchscreen on my camera. I also have a really lightweight little Patagonia skull cap in case it's cold, but not the full warm Patagonia cap cold. And then I have an extra small RCI, which can just pop out. I could even sling it if I want from NYA-EVO again. I love these little extra small RCIs. And inside that, this won't be with me all the time. Again, you know, frequently it'll just be lunch, some water, whatever, some spare stuff I need, and my hat and gloves up there in that open compartment. But what's in here right now is my Move Shoot Move Nomad Star Tracker, and it's laser polar finder, as well as the optical polar finder. I like to double that up with the new Nomad. And a Acrotech Ultimate ball head ready to lock to it, which is the perfect shape and combination for a star tracker. It just gives you unlimited compositional capabilities without being a pain in the butt like a normal ball head on top of the tracker. So the tracker fits right atop my pan and tilt fluid head. I get aligned on the North Star, lock that whole fluid head down, and then set my composition on the Ultimate head, which is perfectly set up for being angled on a star tracker. So that all fits really nicely right here in my extra small NYA-EVO RCI. Okay, in the front sort of easy access pocket, which I love, I can close my side compression straps now that I got the main part of the bag closed. Those are removable too if you don't want them, but I tend to like them. I've got my QD LumaLab strap. I wish I could still link these for you all to buy. There is no better strap in the world, but these aren't available anymore. And we are still working on a solution to that. Stay tuned, it's just not easy. I've got my favorite Princeton Tech Viz headlamp, which one press goes to red, double press goes to white. So single press always turns on and off red, which is nice working in Milky Way situations. And a really long press, like a 5-second press, throws it into a safety mode where it takes a 5-second press to turn it back on, so you never wind up with your batteries run down. I've got some cleaning cloths, some Allen wrenches that are put together with a red whip, and some sunscreen, and a carabiner, just little tiny things that can be handy out in the field. Tools, headlamp, camera strap. That all is so easy to access right here whenever I want to pull something out of my bag. There'll be times where that camera strap is deployed under my backpack shoulder strap. It's comfortable. That's the beauty of the Luma strap with my Lecia Q3 and still carrying the bag, or the Z9. All right, so I'll open up this front horseshoe cam thing. I've got a rain cover for the camera, a rugged rain cover just in case. I've got some toilet paper because you never know, some lens cleaning cloths, big, huge microfiber towelettes. In this pocket, I could throw a hydration bladder, but we won't be hiking that much during workshops. Sometimes on my own trips, I throw a hydration bladder and there's a port for it to come out and go to the shoulder strap. In this zipper pocket, I have a little Lume Cube Mini, which can be nice to throw a little light into a scene. Sometimes you want to do a little light painting in the Milky Way. I've got spare memory cards, both SD and compact flash, although I really never use spare memory cards anymore. I find a big memory card lasts me till I get the images off. And a spare Z9 battery, which I absolutely never, ever, ever seem to use. Down the side pocket of this, I have a USB-C power delivery capable battery brick that can recharge any of my cameras. I did a video really recently on those. You can click here to see it. There's just no need to carry a bunch of spare batteries with USB-C power delivery. You know, I never charge batteries outside of the camera anymore. I just plug them into the wall or a USB-C battery brick. So that's what's going in my NYA-EVO 60C bag. Scooch that over. And as I said, you know, the Plena is probably going to be stashed in this Pelican Air case that I often roll onto airplanes with me. But on trips like this, I kind of use it as a storage locker. I can take some lenses or things I don't want in my bag out, leave them in the van in the Pelican case nice and secure. They're not going to get banged around. They're all padded. So some extra things I'm bringing along. I have a spare eye cup, just in case something happens to my eye cup. I have a spare old mechanical Nikon 10-pin trigger. I got a spare body cap and lens butt cap, just in case I were to lose one of those. I have my 50 1.0 Voigtlander lens that I love. So like the Plena, I have another lens I just sometimes love to use, but probably won't take out doing landscape all the time. I'm not bringing my 105mm macro, but I'm bringing this nice case extension tube in case I wanted to get really close to a subject. AAA battery charger, AA battery charger. The Panasonic and Loop batteries are what I use with my headlamps and other things. I've got some some audio recording equipment, so when I do those videos, sights and sounds at different places, I've got a few different microphones and audio pieces to go with video. And then the main last thing I've got is I've got my little VSGO sensor cleaning, amazing ultra powerful blower that's under necessities and cleaning equipment in my links at my links page. Maybe I'll put it in this video. I swear I've done a third as many sensor wet swab cleanings since I got a hold of this thing, and more often than not, when people show up at my workshops and they've got sensor dust, I just blow it off with this thing. It's got a little screened filter to keep dust out of it on the backside, and it cleans sensors like crazy. Just in case that's not enough though, I have a little toolkit in here with a whole bunch of tools and sensor swabs and cleaning solutions, and in this little kit is sort of my get down and dirty, get the camera cleaned out, get lenses cleaned off kit. So all the cleaning tools and accessories that I might need during the workshop are in these little bags here, ready to go in my Pelican case. And that's essentially what's traveling with me on the workshop. Of course, I'll have kits of all different sizes for people to test out and use case filters while we're out in the field on the workshop. We'll have, extra cleaning cloths and gear for people, a couple spare tripods, all that kind of stuff. But this is what I'm bringing for myself to work with and shoot. We're gonna have a really great time. We'll create some content while we're out there. Again, all the stuff that I've talked about here, there are links to over on my ATS links website. Go to hudsonhenry.com and click on all my gear. I'm one guy and I'm constantly updating that list, but the links change all the time. If you find a dead link or if one of them doesn't go exactly where you want, just email me and I'll try to update that. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna throw this stuff in the van and get headed for the desert. I hope that all of you are out there staying safe, staying creative, and we'll see you next week.